My life once looked like a dream. A loving husband who made me laugh, a beautiful child who gave me purpose, and a brother, Kyle, who was my protector since childhood. People admired us. They saw happiness, love, and unity. But smiles can hide storms. I began to notice tiny cracks in the life I thought was unshakable. My husband came home later than usual. Kyle visited more often, and the laughter that once filled my home started to sound different, hollow. At first, I convinced myself it was nothing. Families change, schedules shift. But deep down, something whispered, "You are blind to the truth." And that whisper was about to become a scream. It was my child who shattered my denial. One evening, with innocent eyes, they asked, "Mommy, why does Uncle Kyle come over when Daddy tells you he's working late?" My blood froze. That question wasn't innocent. It was truth spoken through the lips of a child. From that day, I started watching. My husband avoided my eyes, his phone glued to his hand. Kyle's presence lingered too long. I asked my husband directly, and he spat the words, "Don't be paranoid." But paranoia doesn't invent secrets. It doesn't make a child question. The silence in my home became louder than any argument, and I knew I was standing on the edge of a betrayal I couldn't yet prove. One cold night, I followed them. My heart thundered in my chest as my feet carried me into the darkness. And then, under the dim glow of a streetlight, I saw it. My husband, my partner in vows, in dreams, locked in an embrace with Kyle, my own brother. My knees nearly buckled. The world spun. My breath turned into fire in my throat. Betrayal doesn't just hurt. It destroys the foundation of who you are. I stood frozen, watching them, unable to scream, unable to cry. In that moment, my world ended, but another version of me was born, a woman who would no longer ignore the truth. After that night, I lived like a ghost in my own home. I smiled at my child, but my soul bled inside. They thought I would break silently, but I didn't. I gathered proof, messages, photos, lies captured in their own words. Every screenshot was a dagger. Every whispered recording was a weapon. I stopped being the broken wife and sister. I became a woman preparing for war. They thought I was weak, drowning in pain, but I was already building my lifeboat out of their lies. The night I finally confronted them, the air turned poisonous. My husband shouted, Kyle's face paled, excuses tumbled from their lips like poison. But truth does not bow to lies. I placed the evidence on the table. Silence followed, a silence so heavy it crushed the walls around us. My husband's voice cracked. "It's not what it looks like." Kyle begged for forgiveness, tears staining his face. But forgiveness cannot grow in soil poisoned by betrayal. That night, I didn't just lose 2 men. I lost my family. The battle moved from my home to the courtroom. Papers were filed, lawyers summoned, truths laid bare under harsh fluorescent lights. I walked into that courtroom wounded, trembling, but I walked out unbroken because betrayal cannot destroy a woman who refuses to stay silent. I chose my child. I chose my dignity. I chose myself. Kyle and my husband became shadows of a past I no longer needed. Painful, yes, but liberating. Sometimes betrayal is a blessing in disguise. It shows you who deserves your love and who never did. And while they lost everything to lies, I walked forward into a future built on truth.